Most people may just see books on library shelves, but Jinx Watson looks at them like pieces of art in a museum.
There's an inherent magic about books. Kids know about the power of books.
Watson, a retired associate professor with the School of Information Sciences at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, is an expert in children's story time.
He heard cock-a-doodle-doo.
As she's learned over the years, it's a lot harder than it looks.
You're on. You are really on. And I've seen children, one child sort of fiddle with his shoelaces and start taking his shoes off, and then 2 or 3 other kids, start taking their shoes off, and it becomes a party of taking shoes off rather than the story time. And yet, you just continue and you let the story win them back. And it often will do that.
Turns out there's a special recipe to get children to listen to stories and stay engaged.
This story is going to ask you some questions.
First, she picks interactive books, like nursery rhymes, that usually have something children can repeat back to the reader.
Can you make that sound of a bumblebee?
And she isn't afraid to get out of her seat and on their level.
Using some interactive kinds of books where there's some repeating lines and refrains so that they can be reading the book with me, as it were.
Then she reads what she calls mood books.
High up on a rocky ledge, a mountain lion lies resting in the sun. There's no strong storyline or complication. It's just a quiet reading.
And then more thrilling or strong storybooks.
She leaped with all her might
to captivate their attention.
Finally, I would pick 1 or 2 really engaging plots, strong plots, where there's complication, resolution, where there's an adventurer, maybe he's only 4 years old, like the child listener, but there's a good, strong story.
This combination could be the answer to keep the youngest listeners engaged for 20 to 25 minutes and hopefully spark a lifelong love of reading, because this offers something digital distractions simply can't.
The book is real. The story is real. The story relates to their heart and all of the issues that they're concerned about.
And if you're curious about what books to pick, Watson says leave the obvious titles on the shelf.
Leave the Dr. Seuss, leave the golden books, leave those books that we see in the doctor's offices to the doctor's offices. I mean, those are common currency. They're easy to find, easy to get. I'm not denying the children that. I'm just saying, as the librarian, you have the responsibility and the profession to pick wisely.
Some great options use words and images to seamlessly work together as an art form, allowing young minds to simultaneously decode 2 messages, something Watson says is a highly cognitive function that can make children even smarter.
It's the brainiest toy you could ever give to a kid.
From the classics to the new award winners, the combinations are endless, as children's librarians across Tennessee fill a critical role of arming young minds with a lifetime of curiosity about reading.
Librarians have to do that because we don't have a whole lot of reading at home.